So, map number 2 we have here. It's the ESL Pro Series. I'm Madals, and spawning up to the top right hand position. Representing Alien Invasion, we have... No, we don't. We have representing Team PK, representing... playing Protoss. We've got the green Protoss, GunGFuBanda. I really messed up that introduction. Down in the lower left, we've got the yellow Zerg representing Alien Invasion. It's golden. Now, for anyone wondering, Madals, how can you mess up introductions that freaking badly? Let me tell you, it's because they're playing as green and yellow, and I'm colorblind, which means seeing the difference between green and yellow makes my brain hurt. Like, my brain literally just starts kind of liquidizing, dribbling out my nose when I try and tell the difference between them. I can just do it with green and yellow, but it's when players play teal and pink. No clue. I just have to guess. If I get at a really weird angle on my monitor so the contrast goes a bit funny, I can tell then, but no, it's bad times. Anyway, enough about that. I don't know why I explained why that introduction was so terrible. Maybe so you can all understand just a little. But more importantly, we should talk about the games. We've got a Gateway Expand coming down from GunGfu up against a Pull First from Golden. Both of them playing a pretty standard, safe game. Map number 1, we saw a similar thing, except the big difference is that actually Golden fended off some early pressure from GunGfu, fended off the Oracles, and then just took map control. He went up to 4 bases, contained GunGfu on 2, and was just like, do you know what? You can't do anything. You can't do anything off of 2 bases when I'm on 4. I'm just going to bide my time, wait it out, and you can either engage me, and I'll probably win, or you can turtle up and I'll win through having an economic advantage. That position was reached mainly due to GunGfu waiting. He went for that kind of 2-base play, didn't work out, so he then just sat back and was like, okay, I won't fight. I'll build up, get some Colossi out, I'll buy my time, I'll get a couple of Voidways, a few Immortals to fend off this kind of Roach Ling aggression that counter-attacked me. And that meant that he could never get that third, he could never go for an even stronger, slightly later 2-base play or anything like that. He was always on the back foot after that initial aggression failed. This game, still 2 gases. 7-day score coming through. Should be seeing an expansion shortly. Meanwhile, Golden has now taken his natural base, but is also grabbing up a gas. This will delay his third quite significantly, but the advantage of that is while the third may be later, you're gonna be sitting there and saying, hey, well, I've got Zergling Speed out sooner. And if you recall back to game number 1, that was actually a bit of a problem for Golden. He didn't have Zergling Speed until probably the end of the push from GunGfu, and that meant that he couldn't really chase down those Stalkers for a long time. He got kited and couldn't shut down that push as comfortably as he may have wanted. So the 2 Lings coming in for a nice little bit of aggression now, going to be poking, going to be prodding, trying to find some way to get damage down if they can, but for the most part, just having to scout, wanting to see whether or not we've got that Nexus coming down. GunGfu can't actually yet see the Overlord. After that Mothership Core's vision range was nerfed long ago, trying to stop the deadliness of Blink All-Ins. Otherwise, Forge coming down from GunGfu now, should be starting some quick upgrades. Note the Forge is at the back, not at the front, so that's hidden for the moment, but does mean the wall-off slightly weaker. Golden just now starting up his 3rd hatchery as well. Keeps the Lings around at the 3rd location of GunGfu just in case he was going for those, which is certainly something that can happen. It could come down. Maybe not this early, that would be exceptionally quick, but in the next kind of couple of minutes, if there was an intention for a quick 3rd, it's certainly something that Golden wants to know about. So, 2 additional gates on their way, +1 on its way. Nothing over the top as of yet though, from GunGfu. Meanwhile, Golden, he's got his 3rd coming down, he's adding in speed, adding in a lot more drones. He just wants to get up to that nice drone count. No sign of any tech yet. Generally, between 6 and 7 minutes, you tend to see a Rotoron, especially if there's still gas income. Although, it's worth noting that after that Zergling Speed, or the 100 gas for Zergling Speed was researched and gathered, Golden pulled out drones. So, hasn't been any gas after that. Now, the Overlord comes over, sees that 3rd Nexus actually getting taken. That's a big win, because the Overlord hadn't have been pushed over, may not have been spotted. Obviously, you can guess that it might come through if you see the probe coming across, you see the Mothership Core coming across. Yeah, this is going to be a good fun game. Anyway, Additional gases now on their way. That's the second gas. The first has had drones transferred back into it. We've also got a lot of lings out in the field, but it is only zerglings. No roach warren, no lair, no hydrogen, no nothing like that. Just speedlings. This is to try and punish this greedy third. Coming through at a very, very nice timing. Forward they go. Good attack on its way. That sentry gets caught out of position. Does get taken down. The mothership core trying to pick away at these lings, but there just isn't enough in the way of gateway support for this. More sentries coming over now, but already the Nexus taking a fair bit of a beating. The sentries have to be careful. Force fields do trap a lot of those lings, prevent them from engaging into the fight, buying more time. The Nexus will complete, but it's taken a bit of a beating. Needs to be very, very careful with how he goes from here. Because Roach Warren coming down, Lair coming down, 3 additional gases being taken, bringing it up to 6 gases in total when they complete. We could be seeing Golden start pumping out a lot of roaches and roach speed pretty soon. He's already getting out a couple more lings. It's up at 64 drones, which last game he stacked around that point for the majority of the games. So certainly something that could be on the card, something he could be trying to engage with. But for now, not seeing that. Okay, Hydrogen coming through. It's going to be Roach Hydra based composition. Going to be keeping a check to see whether or not there's any sign of Colossi. That's probably the biggest thing, because if you start seeing the Colossus, you've either got to get Corruptors out or Vipers out. Otherwise, Roach Hydra can't engage that. At least not once there's kind of more than about 2. Looks like the Spire is going to be the choice there. So most likely Corruptors coming through here. And that's a good choice. The Corruptors certainly aren't going to be causing too much of a problem. But yeah, this is all going pretty good. It sounds like there's an ice cream van coming around past my door as well. Sorry about that. But yeah, here we go. Couple of lings poking, prodding, trying to find any avenue for attack in towards this third base. But more importantly, just keeping GunGfu on his toes, saying, GunGfu, I'm going to keep trying this. So if you move out and you're not committed to that attack, your third could just be dead by the time you get back. Spire, about half done now. Hydra speed coming out, as well as, actually no, Roach speed not being researched here. This is mainly a Ling Hydra composition. Probably going to be Ling Hydra Corruptor. That's actually going to be really good, because there's no sign of Robotics Bay, but there is the Dark Shrine coming through. The Overseer trying to get a little bit of a scout now. Sees the Researching Twilight Counter, sees the Researching Forge, so knows that obviously +2 should be on its way. Dark Shrine can lead to a lot of fun. Is there any Spore Crawlers down? No. Are there any Overseers? 1. But that's coming with the army. Don't believe the Dark Shrine was seen. No, it hasn't been. So that could catch Golden off guard. But still, this army, it's a gateway force. And it's coming up against a big Ling Hydra force. Ling Hydra is very good against gateway only units. Unless the force fields are beautiful. They are. A couple of Hydras managed to sneak through. They've got the speed upgrade, not the range as of yet. But these Lings making short work of a lot of these units. The sentry's now getting taken down. A huge gas loss being shown here for GunGfu. Down goes the final sentry. Is it going to go? Yes, it does. A couple more Stalkers getting taken out as well. A lot of damage getting done here. Really nice takedown. And overall in resources lost, while we do see Golden having lost more, it's mainly on the Ling front. It's a lot more mineral heavy, as we can see from down here. So, following up with the Mutalisks, there's not much in the way of anti-air. However, the Spire has been spotted, and that means +1. The double Stargates are there, and Phoenix production has started. All in all, this is going to be a heck of a lot of fun. Which way it goes is going to be quite interesting, because the Phoenix count isn't crazy yet. There's still more on their way out though. Gonna wait and see exactly when they go. But where are the Mutas? Okay, the Mutalisks coming in towards the main base now. They're going to be trying to get a bit of damage down. There's a photon cannon there, but this is already 13 Mutas. The Phoenix though coming to intercept, and this is going to come as a bit of an annoyance to Golden. He does try and poke up against them for the moment though. Goes for a good little bit of damage. Poking. Backing out. Shots off on that mothership core. Don't quite kill it yet. The Phoenix trying to get engaged head on. 1 died. 4 Mutas fell though. Golden now taking a 5th base. His 4th established down in the bottom right. Means that he adds in, or goes up to 8 gases. If he wants to go... Okay, so he's getting Corruptors up. So he's going for this kind of Muta Corruptor style that a lot of Zergs have been using recently. It's really quite strong. And the reason for that is The Corruptors can zone out those Phoenix easy peasy. Meanwhile, the Mutalisks kill everything. Not really a fun position for a Protoss player to be in. Again, these Mutos poke and prod, but the Archon gets a big splash head off onto them. And with the Stalkers and the Phoenix there as well, they manage to shut down and force Golden to retreat away. Do now have a 4th base being established by GunGfu, so he is continuing on, trying to expand more. And that's up against, obviously, the 5 bases of Golden, or the 5th being established. That means Golden is still ahead economically. He's still in a good position. He's going up to an awful lot of drones. He's actually going up to what is now like 89 drones. Very high count. 5th base is in a bit of trouble. A few Zealots warping in. Going to be attacking up against that now. Looking to get some damage through if and when they can. If this 5th goes down, it's actually quite a big loss for Golden. He needs that to stay a base up on his opponent consistently. Some Lings coming back. They've got +1, but these are +2 Zealots, so they trade very well up against the Zerglings. Most of them getting cleaned up. With more Lings coming back, this 5th will get saved. Meanwhile, the Muta Corruptible is doing a nice bit of damage up in the main, picking off a couple of units there. All in all, 9 Mutalisks killed. A couple more units get taken out. There was a couple of DTs as well coming through here. I'm not quite sure where the DTs died, but they were attacking. Didn't manage to take down any hatches, though. That's a bit of a problem for them. Meanwhile, more Mutalisks. More Corruptors all coming through. 4th base going to get discovered as the lone Zergling comes up there. Also a 2nd Spire being added in, so this is going to allow the double air upgrades. Very important if you're going for this Muta Corruptor style of play. Corruptor count at 16, Muta count at 17. Very, very close. But the Phoenix, 14 of them on the field. They've got +2 air weapons on their way in as well. Blink Stalkers to cope with on the ground. And this is a very, very tense game. We're approaching 17 minutes. We've also got Golden now, preparing to transition into Swarm Hosts. Enduring Locusts being researched. Quite a good map for that as well. You can siege up these positions very easily, especially if your opponent is investing heavily in Phoenix, and obviously not into, say, Colossi or High Templar. You can do a good thing with Locust. They don't really have a great response to it. In come these Mutas now. They're going to try and soak up a bit of damage, dish out a lot more. Blink Stalkers also on the way. These Photon Cannons actually doing quite a good job. The Corruptors going to need to try and stop these Phoenix as best they can, but an engagement coming through. A bold move there. Quite a lot of Mutalisks have now fallen. There's only 11 left on the field. 10 more being produced. That uses up a good chunk of Golden's resources, but he's still got just so much more there. He's also pushing through at the natural base. Trying to get a bit of damage, but Zealots warp him. Not much else done there. A lot of Lings still out on the field. Probably not able to engage this army head on. The Corruptor count is also really high. 15 Corruptors. Ready and waiting to zone out those Phoenix. Still, Phoenix back on out. GunGfu happy to buy a bit more time for now. But this is a good move. Multi-prong attack. Handful of Lings heading down towards that 4th base. Meanwhile, the main is also being attacked. The Mutalisks and the Corruptors coming in there. Going to try and get a lot more damage through. Going to start poking away at these Photon Cannons. Going to be trying to get as much done as they possibly can. Phoenix are coming through, and with the Photon Overcharge, the Mutalisks will likely have to retreat out now. Doesn't want to try and take that engagement. The positioning would be far too tense. You need to use these Corruptors to keep the Phoenix away. Doing a good job of it at the moment. Down go a lot of these Phoenix already. The Corruptors also falling. Meanwhile, GunGfu, while that was ongoing, was able to take out the 5th base of Golden. Golden trying to take a 5th now at the gold. And well, without that 5th, suddenly the bases are equal. Suddenly it looks quite good. The Phoenix able to engage into these Mutalisks that went straight up to them very nicely. This is causing a lot of the Mutas to die. However, this does free up some supply for Golden. Although he's a bit mineral starved at the moment, he is pumping out a good number of Swarm Hosts, preparing to start up that never-ending siege as we just tick past the 20-minute mark. Still, these Phoenix being very active on the map. Not really much more they can do. Obviously, with the Muta count only at 9, there's more Phoenix than, or there's an equal number of Phoenix and Mutalisks, which generally isn't required. Ling's still running back. They're trying to just keep a lot of map dominance. We've gone into probably a bit more of a passive moment, or a passive phase of this game, where neither player really has their ideal composition. I'm not sure if any of the swarm hosts have yet been seen. Okay, they definitely have. GunGFu sees the Locust coming forward. And so he starts up the Robotics Bay, wants to go into some Colossi. Pretty much essential to get that if you want to take this late game. Meanwhile, GunGFu edging forward, trying to find anywhere else he can get a bit more damage done. But for the moment, has to be very, very careful. The Locust will shred this army insanely fast. And then there'll just be another wave afterwards. It's an expensive army, and GunGFu cannot afford to just throw it down the pan for nothing. Hive coming through. This is likely to be preparing for Viper tech. Viper's pretty much essential if you are going into the ultra late game. You want to get those abducts. Beautiful fungal growths coming through here though, and this is allowing the Corruptors to soak up or get in range and deal a lot of damage out there. Beautiful fungal growth there from Golden. Able to shut down a lot of those Phoenix early on. Really helps him. Really means that he's got that option to go into those Mutas once more, since there's only 4 Phoenix remaining. A lot of Spine Crawlers, a lot of static defense. Golden happy to sit for this in the long term. As is GunGFu though. He's just secured up his own gold. Sitting now at 5 bases on both sides. Economically speaking, this does favour GunGFu slightly, especially when he's been trading more cost effectively, as Protoss do expect to. However, there are 16 swarm hosts, going up to 20 when those 4 pop out. And as we all know, that is 40 Locusts every single wave. Slowly scurrying towards your 4th, your 5th, your army, picking away at it. Good number of Corruptors are still here as well. That would make any air assault onto the swarm host quite challenging. But now, right on cue, in come these Locusts. There isn't a single Colossus out on the field as of yet. Extended Thermal Lance is on its way, +3 air weapons is on its way. But the Locusts are here now. They're dealing damage now. Down goes those 2 Photon Cannons. The next wave of Locusts already preparing. Already assaulting. But GunGFu, he's looking for an opportunity to try and engage into this. His army just sitting down to the lower left. The static defense is going to be playing an important role. The Infestors also going to be quite useful. When those fungal growth come, will they hit? When will they hit? GunGFu, happy to try and push in towards this natural. There is a lot of Spine Crawlers there. But up against this sort of army composition, Spine Crawlers aren't that scary. Big fungal growths though, nonetheless, are going to be hitting their mark. Voidways trying to engage through. There isn't actually an Overseer on the field, so no way to engage against these swarm hosts once they are burrowed. The majority of GunGFu's army now going down. The Voidways getting assaulted directly by both the Queens and the Corruptors. A lot of GunGFu's army is going to fall here. Add in the fact that his gold base has been stripped of a lot of stuff. No mining going on there. And Golden is now in a great position. Tempest trying to come through, but they've got a massive build time. They actually take a full in-game minute in order to be produced. So this is going to take a lot of time. A War Prism taken out, but still the Zealots were able to get down. A bit more damage being done, but with 2 spines, with Lings coming back, will get stopped. The Swarm hosts again pushing in towards this Nexus, going to be able to take down the gold base of GunGFu. Luckily for Golden, this now puts him a base up, certainly where he would have been looking for, where he wants to be gunning towards. And he also now takes up this 6th, preparing just to stay a base up at all possible times. More Mutalisks also being produced. There's 12 out on the field already. More on their way, and without these Phoenix coming through, that's going to be quite tough to deal with, because there's only 4 Phoenix here at the moment. One of the Stargates was also picked off, another one being reproduced. But still, this is looking really good at the moment for Golden. He had a bit of a sketchy mid-game, but as it stands now, he's just in a beautiful, beautiful spot. He's got, 19 Swarm Hosts, 10 Corruptors, 11 Mutalisks. And this one Infestor can't be underestimated. Those fungals can be massive. The Tempest now revealed, slowly shooting away. Decent number of High Templar are here, so with Storm, they can certainly look to engage into the Swarm Hosts if required. My concern is there just still isn't any single Observer out. There isn't actually no Observer, no detection, no way to actually engage these Swarm Hosts other than with Splash. 6th base of Golden will be forced to cancel as the Zealot Warpin is going to thwart any attempt to get more of a macro advantage. In come the Locust yet again. They pick apart a couple of units, but more importantly, they forced out a Storm. And this is reducing the energy on these High Templar. And it's going to be quite cautious for for GunGfu to try and do some more damage, but hey. In we go. Nice little fungal. Gonna catch quite a few of those Void Rays, buy a bit more time. Reposition of the Corruptor and Mutalisk army round to the side, ready to flank from both sides. The Locust's gonna come in, the Air army gonna try and come in from the other side as well. We'll be able to pick off this Nexus, should be able to pick off this Nexus. Of course, the Storms have been seen, and that's gonna be quite scary if the Storms are good. They can do a lot of damage to a clumped up Air army. But the Nexus falls, GunGfu contained down just on these 4 bases, and I say just, and that's because the natural and third are pretty much mined out. The 4th is the only real last hope. An attempt on the 6th base now of Golden should be successful. These Zealots will be able to pick it off without a cancel either. That means that obviously more resources have been lost. Still, nice stuff for the moment. Rocks getting barreled down, and despite Golden having a good economic edge, despite Golden having a nice army composition, good map control and stuff like that, we cannot underestimate the fact that GunGfu now has pretty much a maxed out, very scary, very strong army. He's got the 3-1-1 upgrades for his ground, 3-1-1 for his air. Sorry, 3-0-1 for his air. That's up against the 2-2 upgrades pretty much across the board, apart from +3 kicking in for Golden now. Interestingly, Golden's also getting the 3-3 melee attack upgrades. Could he be planning into some kind of Broodlord transition due to having the +3 air attack and air armor? Maybe. Could certainly work well with that +3 melee attack. Otherwise, still poking, still prodding. Pretty much zero chance of seeing any kind of attack come through from GunGfu. If he tries to move out, he just risks losing this all-important army. And if that goes down, it's going to be probably GG right there. GunGfu can hold on for quite a long time though, as things stand. He needs to be careful not to kind of isolate his units though, like these Phoenix all on their lonesome. Just a couple more going down. Bit more damage, bit more poking, bit more prodding. Any odd unit like that is going to be really important, because GunGfu, while he's got a decent-ish bank, his gas is a bit low. He's mined out most of his gas geysers. Any unit that dies, there's only so much reinforcements that can come through, whereas Golden is sitting at 5,000, 7,000 minerals gas. So he's got a massive economy, a massive bank, multiple expansions, and plenty of chance to try and get through this and just last it out. And that's really what we're seeing here at the moment. Still, nice little bit of dancing, nice little bit of micro wars coming in between those Phoenix and the Muta-Corruptor flock. Phoenix winning out that transition, but over to the side, yet again we see these Locusts just pushing through. GunGfu happy to bide his time, happy to wait this out. Another Phoenix dies, couple more, getting quite low. Golden, he can't really do anything about this. He can't try and engage it too quickly, because if he unburrows his Swarm Host and tries to move them forward, if he goes head on, this maxed out Protoss force would probably win. It's a very, very scary composition. Golden is left in a position where he has to just wear his opponent down. Wait patiently to slowly shift through all of these units, even if it's just one at a time. The Infestor goes down. There's a lot more Spore Crawlers there at the moment, but of course the Colossi can outrange that. GunGfu deciding if he wants to risk moving on in. Looks like he's going to go for this, but it exposes his top left base if, of course, Golden decides to go for this. GunGfu edging forward ever so carefully, ever so slowly. And the reason GunGfu's going for this is because he knows his fourth base is dead and gone. Even if it stayed up, there's no minerals left there. There was zero mineral income for GunGfu anymore. In come the Phoenix. They're going to try and trade against this. The Corruptor's moving in as well. They want to try and get these pick off wherever they can. A lot of Swarm Hosts are now starting to die. Locusts coming on in. This is working down this army. Golden is still up in overall supply. He's got 7,000 in the bank. Protoss players can only dream of having that much money at this stage. But in now come those Mutas. In come the Corruptors. They're going to go for the Tempest. First and foremost, the Void Rays dishing out a ton of damage as well. Corruption's coming down on those Void Rays. They're getting worked away at nice and quickly. 23 more Mutalisks on the way, and that will probably spell the end of GunGfu. 24 more Mutalisks joining the 7 already down. Anti-air consists of 4 Phoenix and whatever can be produced until then. This is a tough spot for GunGfu. With his, obviously, with his Colossi getting chased down, with the Phoenix count not that high, it's going to be hard. It's going to be incredibly difficult. He's even long-range mining just to try and trickle in a bit more. Some Lings, though, they've managed to discover that. These Lings do, of course, have the +3 melee attack upgrades, which means they absolutely destroy. But regardless, 32 Mutalisks engaging now. The Phoenix getting picked away at, getting taken down one at a time if need be. The Corruptor's doing a good job. GunGfu down to just 43 supply at this stage, and it's still going. Golden is looking to advance 2-0 over GunGfu in this best of 3 to the semi-final round. Grat and Golden is going to take this 2-0. Congratulations to him, and he moves forward into the next round.